With the DNR's comment, we have shifted those berms 40 feet outside or 40 feet away from the creek to be outside of the floodway, so that if there was any actual heavy flows, it would not impact the berm in any way.
Okay, so I'm looking at this map right here.
Okay.
That's the floodplain.
Page 136. And then I'm looking at page 109. Plant features,
Yep.
storm water direction. Okay, we got that. Stockpiling. So all the setbacks are approved by the DNR, or not DNR, but the highway 20. Plant features, what would that include?
So yeah, so all of those red features on the map, that includes the drum, tanks for asphalt, cement, diesel and burner fuel, generators. Everything is on wheels. Everything has a hitch. Everything can be moved as long as we have trucks available.
As long as we have trucks available, sounds like quite the caveat.
It's not, because we will have quite a few trucks parked. So if you see the parking called out, we'll have quite a few pieces of equipment also parked along that parking there. So
A minimum of 20 trucks at my disposal at any time.
Okay,
Yep.
and that would sufficiently
yes,
move all of this in
yeah,
short order.
Yes,
Okay. In an emergency type situation.
correct.
Okay. What kind of emergency protocol do you have then? I mean, is there protocol?
so yeah, that's
This?
which we typed up a little summary of a simple protocol. I don't remember what page that's on, but it is attached here. Flood response plan. Plant site grading. So there, so part of it is just watching data that's put out by the USGS.
What page do you have? Do you have
I have page 125
25?
of your guys' agenda.
Okay.
items. So our site flood response plan, it does seem rather simple, but the complicated nature is, we will be watching the data that's put out daily by the USGS. It may even be updated more frequently than daily. It's probably more of an hourly update, depending on what kind of stream gauges are available, et cetera. And you can actually see gauge height, where you're at as far as, are we at flood stage? Are we past flood stage in nearby creeks and rivers? Once we start to see data that's trending in a direction where it's looking like we are going to have a flood event, we will start making sure that we check the number of trucks we have available. And if we're good, we're good. If not, we will make sure we plan to route more trucks that way. We do have an entire fleet and a trucking staff that's kind of separate of our paving operation. So we have the capacity to bring trucks off of other projects if necessary.
So in the event there is a flood, where does everything go? Because it looks like it's all within, a lot of it is within.
Yeah, so a lot of this stuff, it will be easy to stack it up by the piles, which would be out of the flood zone. If anything did need to get removed from the site, we would coordinate with that property owner and probably just temporarily, for an emergency situation, move whatever equipment couldn't fit up, stacked up next to the piles somewhere else on a piece of property that he owns, that because he is an adjacent property owner there.
So he's okay with that. Obviously, he knows this is all going on, so.
Another thing, we did run into this situation, our yard in town here is not that far.
True.
If we were gonna get a severe flood rain event, we would probably just bring it right back here. Get it out of there completely.
Okay. And within 6 hours or something like that.
It ain't gonna take that long.
That would be the maximum amount of time it would take once we say, hey, let's get it out of there.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And for the most part, material stockpile will be maintained out of that.
Yeah,
Area.
that's why I shipped it. Initially, we just kind of had it willy-nilly, but then once we got the floodplain mapped, we definitely made sure that we plan to situate the piles on that south section that's a little bit elevated and out of the floodplain.
Any other questions?
And I will point out that this is kind of one of those conditional use permits where they've triggered several permits. They've got a grading permit that they're doing with the county, so that means they have to interact with the DNR for the NPDES permit or form of that, and having the SWIP plan, as well as the floodplain development permit, which is administratively issued. So staff would definitely pay attention to those
Details.
floodplain issues as well
Okay.
for the issuance of the floodplain permit.
Okay. Do you have any other comments or questions for these folks? And if not, are we ready to make a motion on it? No closed session.
And if I may, this is again a recommendation to the Board of Adjustment, who the Board of Adjustment will decide on the permit, and they just for the public, they will meet on Monday at 6:00 PM in this very room. It's coming, I think it's June 3rd.
And make a motion to recommend approval to the Board of Adjustment with the conditions pertaining to DNR, floodplain permits, and following all guidelines set forth there. Since
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, you got it.
Thank you, commissioners.
You got it to the Board of.
Yes,
Adjustment.
correct. Thank you so much.
Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners.
That'd be good. Okay,
Thank you.
now, public comments not on the agenda, things we don't have any other public in attendance. We're gonna move on to staff update.
Well, as far as, I don't have a really large one other than the Board of Adjustment meets. The Board of Supervisors did, let's see, when did we meet last? Okay, they did approve the solar recommendation that was presented to them by the zoning commission. They also approved the comp plan. So the comp plan is now in effect. And there's a lot to the comp plan as far as after it's approved, because we got to notify, and this is kind of an interesting story. We've got to notify every single county that abuts us
Okay.
and inform them that Woodbury County has a new comprehensive plan. And it's quite amazing when you contact some of these other counties. Why did I get this?
Uh-huh.
And it's because of Iowa code, basically, because it's part of Iowa code. And we did present the comp plan over to the Sioux City Public Library because it's got to be on file inside of the Sioux City Public Library. And I will be getting that out to the county library as well. And so it'll be available in the libraries, it'll be available online, and of course on file in the auditor's office in perpetuity. So we do have that comp plan. So.
Good.
And
Was there a lot of interaction with the public then, or was it basically the same as what we saw?
it was pretty much the same
Okay.
experience as going through the three meetings at the supervisor level. Corinne, of course, helped with, facilitating it through that process of Simcoe. And then the third thing was the floodplain updates to that ordinance. And so they approved it, but the ordinance will formally go into effect on July 17th.
Which is when you're supposed to have the
Yeah.
floodplain.
Yeah, so it'll coincide because we were looking at that, because if you change the ordinance to the map and you approve it now, there's a discrepancy, because how do you regulate the floodplain between now and July if it's pointing to the map that's incorrect? So you have to have it line up with the, and so I kind of chatted with the county attorney's office and of course DNR on that as well. So we decided July 17th it'll just all be in effect.
Good.
The DNR, by the way, has checked in with me. Have you passed that yet? So they've been really carefully, they need to have it on file because they have to report back to FEMA that each jurisdiction is, in a sense, complying with the NFIP. And we always have a goal to remain in good standing in the NFIP by doing what we're supposed to do.
What we're told.
Okay, so we got those three things definitely accomplished, and we just finished up the zoning conference last week. We brought a good group of folks. We brought them to Hornick, showed them the berm down there, and I will honestly say that the house down there on the corner was the bigger part of the conversation than the berm. The movie Children of the Corn.
Really?
That was kind of the
Priorities here.
And Mark Nara also, we stopped down at the interchange location where they're gonna put the interchange in, and Mark kind of described for the group kind of how it's gonna be positioned down there. And we kind of had to have our vision lenses. What would a interchange look like here when we're standing in a cornfield,
Right.
basically?
This picture.
Big picture. So that's pretty much all I got at this point.
It's good for you. So success all the way around. Sounds like. Good for you. Perfect. Thank you very much. How about commissioners' comments or inquiry? Next item on the agenda. That was my inquiry. Okay. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.